Hi,
Hello,
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, thanks very much.
Oh,
Nice. Now, listen, I know you'll all be very excited to hear, waiting on with bated breath, but we don't have any update on the children and pets situation at the moment because we're recording this after we recorded the last episode with Emma, but before it's been published. So we haven't had any responses to the request that we sent at the time of recording, but when we get them, you'll be the first to know. So there we go.
happy days.
Yeah. What else is going on?
What is going on? That is a very good point. Desperately trying to hold on to hope this week.
Oh, why?
It's just shit, isn't it? It's just shit.
Why? What's shit?
Just, just people don't care, and the
Oh,
weather's a big
mm,
bag of crap, and it's like, how much longer can all this go on for?
yes. Yeah, good point. Sad times.
As I keep saying, it would be nice to be trying to find a
Eh?
positive spin. It would be nice to have grown up watching apocalyptic films and being part of a real one.
And being part of a real one.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. That's quite sad though, isn't it?
yeah. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe something will change. Something will happen. But I don't know. It's crap.
Did you watch Eurovision on Saturday?
No, I didn't watch Eurovision. Oh, that's what happened. So Friday night, it was the we had the Northern Lights.
Oh, yes, we did. Yes.
Of which I'd gone to bed, or we'd all gone to bed, to be fair. And then about 11:30, son of mine and guest of the podcast, Josh, came legging it into our room. Went, everybody, you've got to get outside right now. We're like,
What, is the
what?
house on fire?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking there's people breaking in. Is the end of the world happening? Who knows? Um, ran outside, and yeah, there they were, just there.
Wow.
It was really cool. So he then did a few checks, as many people did, and it was supposed to be stronger Saturday night. So it was a nice day. So we put the chimney on, which I guess is putting carbon into the planet atmosphere. So that just makes everything worse as well. So
Yeah.
my own fault. So we sat outside on a nice evening, chimney on, and then it was a bit cloudy, so I couldn't see anything.
Ah.
But I'd rather have done that than watch Eurovision, if I'm completely honest.
Fair enough.
If it had been chucking down the rain, I'd have watched Eurovision.
Fair
But
enough. Yeah,
it was quite nice.
that's good.
Nice family time.
Yeah, lovely. That's good. I uh I was working working in London, there's far too much light pollution, so there was
Yeah.
nothing going on. Very
Should
disappointing.
have the moon there, didn't you, because of light pollution?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Okay, right, listener. I hope you enjoy this episode. We've got a great guest coming up. And if you want to get in touch with us, what do you need to do? What would be the best thing?
You can email us
Oh yeah.
howiveganpodcast@gmail.com
Yeah.
or check out social media.
hmm Come and find us on Instagram. That's probably the best place. Thanks for joining us,
Cool.
Sean. We do appreciate it.
No, thank you for having me.
You were due to join us about 18 months ago when we spoke with Rory about the Christmas run for the animals.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I can't remember what happened, but I couldn't make it when the call was scheduled. But the Christmas run for the animals was a fun experience, running around Bushy Park with our turkey hats on for like 8 hours. um,
That was hell of an effort, though.
Yeah, amazing.
no, it was great. I mean, we looked a bit ludicrous, but
Yeah,
I
but
think
you
we
got to
raised
get
like
the
800
attention.
pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. It got in all the press, and yeah.
that's it. Okay, episode 60. Here we go. Our guest is a,
Whoa,
well, sorry, I
60.
was just going to gloss over that.
You
Yeah,
say 60?
60. Your
Oh my
age, Wes.
goodness. I know, what's happening?
I know, 60. We're still going.
Sorry, carry on.
Right, thanks. Our guest is a vegan academic, vegan street activist for We the Free, an ultra runner, member of Vegan Runners, and campaigner for Animal Justice Project. He spoke on stage at last year's National Animal Rights March. All that, and he's only just turned 30. Welcome to the show, Sean Bars.
Hello, yeah, thank you for having me. There was quite a few list of things there that I do. But yeah, definitely quite
Bit of a
involved.
realization.
Yeah, definitely as involved as I can be in the vegan movement and as many groups as I can be.
You're one of the organisers for We the Free with our friend Carrie in Cambridge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so
Yeah.
Carrie, she represents Vegan Runners. She's like the Cambridge rep.
Yes.
And yeah, we co-organise with a chap called Ross, and we do the Cambridge chapter. So we've got like a big growing group there and do street activism, community events. We were supposed to do an animal sanctuary visit recently. We did litter picks and then like the street activism itself.
Awesome. Okay. And tell us about Animal Justice Project, because I'm a bit out of the loop with that. What's the deal there?
So I joined Animal Justice Project about a month ago. So my job role is a campaigner. So it's an organisation that specialises in going and exposing farms directly, and then sharing that content, and then making campaigns around them, so sharing them online, getting as much press as we can, and then doing street outreach and stunts based around those events. So it started in 2014, and it started doing animal agriculture specifically in 2019.
Nice. Okay.
Incredible.
Yeah. All right. And the Animal Rights March, you spoke on the stage last year. Did I get that right, or did I just imagine it?
No, that's true. I spoke there, and I used it as a big shout out for Vegan Runners, naturally, just to encourage people to join. But yeah, it was great talking at the Animal Rights March and just sort of trying to rally people up, because I really tried to motivate people through the talk. And it felt like a big honor to be invited there as well, because it's such a big event. Like I was delighted to be able to do that, and yeah, it was great.
Awesome. So, you'll be attending again this year? Is it August? I think I saw a post about it.
Yeah, so it's August the 17th. So I'll be there again. I'll be with my Cambridge Activism group. So I won't be talking or anything like that, because I think it's good to kind of keep different talkers every year and everything like that, to give loads of people to talk. But yeah, so I'll be there with my Cambridge group, like with Carrie as well. So we're going to sort of have a little Cambridge block, and probably be close to the Animal Justice Project people as well. So yeah, it's a really good event that just brings so many people together from different activism groups. You've got the Vegan Runners, you've got the street activists, so just everybody, like no matter what you do, it's like a really good event for everyone to sort of join together on.
Okay, so it is a march, isn't it? You walk through London.
Yeah,
Like
so it starts at Marble Arch. It's usually like a couple of miles, and just sort of just march through London with your banners and your megaphones, and just try and get as much of attention as possible, and then to motivate the activists as well, because I think that's a really key point, is for people to come away and feel like empowered to go and do more activism and stuff like that.
So how many people do you sort of get to those sorts of marches?
So before COVID, like the numbers were huge. Like I think Serge used to organise it, and they quoted like 10,000 people there. Wow. Last year we had 1,000, so it's quite a significant drop. But again, it's after COVID, it's trying to get people back. I know it's a few years on since COVID, but it's still difficult sometimes to get people, in big numbers.
Yeah. Everyone wants to do everything on Zoom these days, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't really
do a march on Zoom.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's exciting. So August 17th.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okie dokie. Where's the best place to find out more information about the march?
So just on the NARM Instagram. So it's just narm.uk on Instagram, and it's a good place to sort of get the updates on there.
Right. We had a vegan academic on before, and she kind of blew our minds. And I want to ask you. And I was doing some research yesterday, and I saw something that said you're writing your PhD at the moment.
Yeah, that's right.
And it says it's focused on animal rights issues within the Romantic literary era, 1770 to 1832.
Yeah, so it's a
Wait,
bit of a niche market. So I'm
yeah,
looking
tell
at
us what's going on there.
so I'm looking at well my the PhD title is called Romantic Vegetable Eaters: The Politics and Poetics of an Active Diet. And that's a big mouthful, but all PhD titles tend to be. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at representations of diet, the vegetable diet specifically. I'm not using the word vegan or even vegetarian because these weren't actually terms in that period.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
So you've got people who we would now identify as vegan or vegetarian writing, and I'm looking at the way they talk about the diet, what they thought it could achieve, and how they thought it could change the world. Because these guys were like, in this era, they were such optimistic writers. Like they believed they could completely transform the world through diet, which which is a really interesting concept. And so I'm looking at Percy Shelley, his poetry. I'm looking at Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which is probably the most famous sort of text I'm looking at, because the creature is himself in the novel. He's basically a vegan. Like when he's born, he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't eat anything, which is something a lot of people don't know about until they really sort of get into it. But yeah, there's a lot of material in that era, and yeah, I'm very lucky to have a really good PhD supervisor as well, because a lot of vegans I talk to who do PhDs, they're almost told to kind of keep their veganism out of it. But mine's kind of like let it direct your arguments. But I think it's just the nature of it being like a literature PhD. So it's like I need to write an argument to try and convince people of my point. So me bringing in what I think kind of really helps amplify it, especially because it's so connected in a way.
Oh,
Why
nice.
would they try and suppress that then? Is that just like because you're probably going to unearth the truth?
Well, I think it's more just trying to keep an element of bias out of it, because it's supposed to be
Oh,
impartial in a way. But I guess
Right.
my veganism is kind of it's got me there in the first place. It's the reason I'm writing on it. Like without it, I might not have even sort of read that book and thought, oh, he sounds like a vegan.
Hmm.
It's for me, it's so intertwined that I can kind of get away with it. But I feel like a lot of studies wouldn't. I think because it's an English literature PhD, it's just making an argument to convince people. So yeah, I can get away with it in my field. And it also helps. I should also mention that you can kind of pick. So you pick a moderator, so like an external moderator and an internal. My external moderator is also a vegan,
oh,
so the person who's going to
fantastic.
be reading it, marketing it, like that's going to help as well.
Yes.
Like she's an expert on this era, and she just happens to be vegan. So I was like, right, I've got to get her. She's going to get what I'm talking about.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Um,
I love that. That's perfect. It's like it's all come together for a reason.
yeah.
Love that. Awesome. All right. So we've talked about some of the vegan activities, but what's your vegan story? Where did it all begin?
So I've been a vegan for 14 years, and I think like a lot of people, it was kind of like a gradual sort of approach. Like I was vegetarian first, then I omitted eggs, and then eventually dairy, and there was quite a few factors sort of contributed to it. So I think I must have been about 15 when I went vegan, and I was quite an overweight teen, and I was quite unhealthy at the time, and I was becoming quite unfit, and I sort of wanted to become a lot healthier, and I knew veganism would be a route into that, and I had big concerns over animals and just like the experience I'd had with animals as well, because growing up, my family, we used to always visit this place. It's like in Norfolk, called Farm Park, which is it's basically like a working farm, and they had like a herd of deer there as well. They would farm deer as well, cows, and but yeah, we used to visit this place, and you could go out on like this sort of like mini train and sort of almost like a safari to see the deer in a way. And I loved it. I thought, all these deer are so cute. But then in the farm shop, they were selling deer, like deer meat and antlers, and it's like, oh, what's going on here? This is very very, very bizarre. And I think that early sort of experience helped me connect the sort of dots between the animal and the meat product itself. And that kind of really got me thinking. And then at the same time that the same farm, it had like a shed of cows. And I remember walking in and there was all like these, what I guess I now know to be like veal calves or like unwanted male dairy calves. And I just remember I walked in and they all kind of like approached me, and they were sort of like really happy and friendly, and they were kind of like suckled on my fingers. And I just remember feeling really sad myself, and I couldn't quite figure out why at the time. But I think it must have been that experience of just seeing them like shoved in this shed. And I think those early sort of things just sort of stayed with me. And when I hit my mid-teens, it kind of pushed me to kind of, really reflect on it and put the dots together a bit more, because I was very young when I went to these places, but they always stayed with me. And I think that's what eventually got me there.
It's a weird thing, isn't it, to have seen it, but on the same day out
Yeah.
and made the connection at that point. Because I mean, I remember when I went to farms as like on school trips, it was even then it was separated. So here's the farm, here's the dairy farm, here's the cows being milked. Go home. It's all good. They eat the grass, they make the milk. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But to actually see the deers and the cattle in the field, and then in the shop they're
Straight in the
selling
shop.
dead body parts. It's
Yeah.
like, oh no, that's just
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
level.
I mean, obviously the whole thing is very horrible, but I don't know if I would have made that connection so quickly had I not seen it there.
Yeah.
It really hit home for me.
Yeah. And as a teenager, that's quite a big step to take, because it's not, I mean, now maybe less so, but 15 years ago, telling your mates that you suddenly don't, well, not suddenly, but telling your mates that you don't eat meat and dairy, and that must have been a tricky situation.
Yeah, a little bit. I think everyone kind of at the time they just thought I was a bit of a weirdo, um, if I'm honest, because veganism wasn't a trending term, and
No.
no one really understood what it was. It wasn't on the rise, and a lot. I remember one person asking me, this I think was when I was about 18. He's like, "What is a vegan? What is a vegan?" And even as late as like maybe 7 or 8 years ago, someone asked me if I could eat potatoes. I was like, well, "What do you think a vegan is?" Like, potato.
God, where would we be without potatoes as well?
It was.
Wow.
That's
Oh my
crackers.
God, that's hilarious.
I remember being asked, "Can you eat this apple?" Well, it's your apple. I'm not going to eat it, but yeah, I could eat it if you wanted me to. But what a question. Potato. That's good, that. So what did you
Yeah.
like? What did your family think about it?
So my mum was really quite supportive. She, straight away she went out and she got vitamin pills and learned everything she could about vegan cooking, and practiced all these vegan recipes, and just sort of wanted to make sure I got all the stuff I needed to. So she kind of took it on herself to become a vegan sort of cook at that time,
That's
Wow.
amazing.
which was really great. She eventually went vegan herself after a while as well. It took her a little bit, a while to get there, but she went vegan as well. And yeah, so I'd say from the family side, like very, very supportive from the get go, really. So I was quite lucky in that, because you hear stories of people who just have complete opposite experiences, and people almost have like proper fallouts with relatives over it. But I was lucky in that sense.
Yeah, and especially when you're not in the position to do the cooking yourself, the shopping yourself, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Like when you're an adult, you can do it, and it's your money, it's your, you have it in your own capability to do it. But yeah, asking somebody else to learn how to do it for you, that's incredible support from your mum, especially.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, I was very lucky.
Yeah. So how did things change for you mentally or physically?
So, I mean, the get go for me, it was just I become a lot fitter. So I was an overweight teen, so I lost quite a bit of weight, and down to a healthier weight. I got into cycling and running as well, and that both really helped with my fitness. And I guess for me, what really kind of came was like a bit of drive and motivation, because I really kind of wanted to become a really good rep for veganism and sort of push it as much as I could. And this sort of happened, a few years down the line of veganism. But I guess what I was trying to say, I just become really motivated. I just wanted to do as much as I could, and just sort of help grow the movement in the ways that I knew I could use my skills to do so.
Tremendous. And then that sort of moved into the ultra running as well.
Yeah, eventually. So um, I used to be more of a cyclist first, so I used to commute to work, and that used to be like a 20-mile round cycle ride, and then I learned to drive, so I wasn't cycling anymore, and then I kind of was missing that. So I slowly got into running, and then that went into marathon running, and then ultra running, and it was just like, how far can I go? How much can I do? And it was just a bit of a challenge as well, and you want to kind of be the best rep for veganism again as possible. So for me, it was just being fit, like with people at work, found out that I was running some, ridiculously long race, and I was doing that as a vegan. It's just like, oh wow, so vegans are obviously fit and healthy. I guess I just wanted to push that message as much as I could. And I did quite a bit of fundraising over the years for animal sanctuaries, and done a few interesting races where I kind of dressed up as things. I did one dressed as a bear, so like Fiona Oakes she's got that Percy bear that's her mascot, so I dressed up as that during the lockdown and did like a marathon near where I live, sort of on a really secluded space, and I managed to raise over £1,000 just through doing that. And I did another race dressed up as a giant beagle to raise support for Camp Beagle. So I mean, you can do a lot with the running stuff, as you guys know, because you're obviously both vegan runners, and you've seen a lot of the interesting stuff vegan runners have done, like John Crossgrove, who dresses up as a broccoli, like you've probably seen him do that. Like there's a lot of creative ways that it can be done.
To be able to run that distance just living on grass and tree bark, that's going some.
I know, it's impressive, isn't it?
Fantastic. Yeah, I was trying to work out if we've run at the same place at the same time, and I went to the last 2 vegan campouts, so I'm not sure if you were at either of those. So we went to the park runs there.
I was at the last 2 campouts. I didn't do the park run last year because I didn't get up in time. I was being a bit lazy in my tent. But the year before, I was at the park run.
Okay, cool. All right. So we were at that one.
I will be this year. I will get out of my tent in time.
Okay. Yeah, set the alarm a bit earlier. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. All right, this is a bit of a silly question, but it's a bit of a bingo question because we get asked it all the time. Where do you get your protein? And any
I
other
don't. I'm vegan. Vegans don't get protein. But the truth from plants, lots of beans, pulses is fantastic. Like I eat so much tofu and pasta, and there's greens and nuts, and there's so much great food. Like I'm not a nutritionist by any means, but there's so many great sources out there, and if anyone sort of isn't quite sure where to look, the best place is plant-based health professionals. They've got so many great resources. Like I'm always like, I kind of try and champion them a bit and promote them a bit because they're really good. They've got so much great stuff going for them, and yeah, they've got lots of facts on their website.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, I like that. We'll link to that in the show notes as well.
So what's the best thing about being vegan?
Sleeping well at night, not
having connections.
Yeah, and being surrounded by like a really vibrant and powerful community of activists. Like I know so many vegans, like through the things I've done, and that's great to sort of see the community side of it, and to know that you've minimized your impact on animal life and the environment as far as possible through diet choice. And I think it's just knowing that you're minimizing your impact, and I guess that links to kind of like Buddhism in a way, and just trying to be as kind as possible on the planet.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't really know enough about Buddhism, but I've heard a couple of people mention how some of the similarities.
I guess for me, it's to create as little harm as possible and to create as little negativity as possible through like every sort of interaction and practical experience. And I just see those two as quite, there should be more vegan Buddhists. Like there's a few great books by vegan Buddhists, but all Buddhists should be vegan. Like they should be there.
Because that's the teaching within Buddhism is, like you say, do as little harm and.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they should marry it up.
Like we mentioned last week, it's about being kind to. It's not about just being kind to yourself, but it's about just being kind all across the board.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And if you're kind to yourself, then that kind of affects who you are to other people as well.
Yeah.
exactly. It's just reducing that suffering in as many ways as possible.
Can't argue with that, really, can you?
There's too much self-hatred in society, isn't there? Everyone's struggling with stuff and they're not talking about it. So if they start loving themselves more, that just explodes through the society. That's what it should do anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that kind of positive energy, isn't it, that can kind of be infectious and
Yeah.
Love that. Okay. All right. This one's not quite as deep. What's your favorite vegan product at the moment?
do I have to choose just one?
No. I'm
No.
going to change that question. What are your favorite vegan products at the moment?
Because there's a lot to choose from now, isn't there? But
Yes.
I guess I really like V Bites. Like I'm so glad they managed to kind of bounce back from their issues that they had. But they do like a beef style sort of joint thing. I don't know how else to describe it other than that, but it's really good. And I had it for dinner actually with like vegan horseradish and broccoli and potatoes. It's just so good.
Vegan
And then Linda
horseradish.
McCartney sausages as well. Like I'm a big champion of them. Like they were one of the first things, the one of the only things I could eat when I first went vegan. They're like one of the only products that I knew on the market, and took me a long time to realize how you're supposed to cook them as well. Like, I used to cremate them, like they were like charcoal. Like I'd put them in the oven for like 40 minutes as if they were a meat sausage, and it would just be like,
oh, crunchy.
I've learned how, yeah, just dry. But now I've learned how to cook them, so that they're actually good now.
Yeah, like a 1980s barbecue sausage, just like solid.
Yeah.
Okay. Vegan horseradish, did you say?
Yeah, I can't remember the brand name. That's not a very good answer, but I've got it in my cupboard, and but yeah, it is a thing. It is a thing.
Okay. Interesting. I've never seen that. Okay.
Any
And I
others?
really, Life cheese is really good. Like this, because I really struggle with vegan cheese because some of them are so bad. But Life I can do, and I enjoy that. But like, I don't want to name and shame, but some of the supermarket ones are just, they're so dodgy. I can't even open them. But like, but yeah, I like the Life. It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the best one that's widely available, isn't it? Because it has at least got some flavor to it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can kind of enjoy that. But I guess I'm so used to not eating the like cheese in general. Like, I mean, I was vegan 10 years, but I think before Life came along. So I guess, yeah, I've got used to not having a lot of the alternatives. I do eat them though now. But like soy milk as well. Like 10 years ago, soy milk does not taste like it did today. Like it had this, it was like the only way to describe it is if like someone had got water and a cardboard box and liquidized them together.
Oh.
Which is what carnists think it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste like that now. Like Alpro is
No.
delicious. Like, you know, I just drink that out of the bottle, but 10 years ago it was, ooh,
No,
yeah.
we kind of named our 10-year plus vegans as ancient vegans because not in a derogatory way, but just because you kind of paved the way for us Johnny come latelys who are what we now 6 years Wes. And but you know, through your early struggle and then like you say a few years ago, all of a sudden everywhere you look, there's suddenly these great vegan alternatives.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? There's just like a massive boom, and there's so even like when you go into restaurants, there's like most places have an option of what you can eat. Like years ago, it'd just be like chips and salad. Like there was nothing, and you kind of had to sort of think, right, how can I get a vegan meal from this menu that's not suitable for me? But now it's completely different. It's
So, what advice would you give to somebody who came wanting to make the big change?
well, my advice might sound a little bit grim, but I think the truth is to sort of try and get a bit of first-hand experience and see the animals themselves. Like there's two ways of doing it. There's, you know, you could go to a vigil and see them go into one of these places of death, or you go to an animal sanctuary, which is obviously the more positive version. You can, and see the animals and experience them firsthand and get to meet them. And I guess that could help get rid of any doubts they might have about veganism, because you see the animals that are negatively affected by the industry. It's just helps put them together, and then join community groups as well. Like if you're into running, join vegan runners, or activism groups or meetup groups. Like in Cambridge, where I'm kind of based, there's a board game society of vegans that just meet and play board games. And
Wow.
there's so many sort of social groups that you can kind of get involved in as well. And just meeting that community can really help new vegans, I think.
It's about immersion, isn't it? It's about just getting immersed in the information and the social network, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just that sense of community can really help.
Yeah.
Just know that you're not alone as a vegan, because there's so many.
Yeah, that's it. Finding your tribe is such a key thing, and for me, vegan runners was that tribe. Absolutely amazing.
I agree. I mean, it is a great club. It's the first sort of vegan group or society that I joined. I think maybe in like 2017 I joined, and I did a race, and I'd not met any of the vegan runners at that point. I just wore my vegan runner vest. It was Milton Keynes Marathon, and I just remember so many vegan runners saying, "Oh, hey, vegan runner," and I was just like, "There's other ones."
I'm not the only one.
But it was just it was the first time I've been cheered as a vegan. It was really empowering, and it was my first marathon as well, and it was just great to meet other vegans there, and
Yeah, I love it when you're doing a park run, and especially if it's one with laps or bits that cross close to each other. There's a few round by where I am, and you'll often just get a go vegan shout, and all of a sudden you've got a boost. It's like when you're playing, I don't know, Mario Kart or something, and you hit a mushroom. You suddenly just get this extra boost of power. Fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, right. Who's your vegan inspiration?
So I think, having just spoke about vegan runners, I think we're going to talk about more vegan runners. So it has to be Fiona Oakes, like hands down. Like she's the most inspiring vegan I've ever spoken to. Like, I've met a lot of activists and founders of organizations, and I've met a lot of people in the movement, a lot of the influencers as well, but she's like the most inspiring. Like, she's got such fire in her belly, and it's really contagious, and like her passion as well, and her compassion as well towards the movement. She's so driven. And I'd met her not long after I'd kind of got into ultra running, and she was just I don't know, there was just something about her. Her energy was great. Like, everything she's done, the races, the sanctuary, it's like she's like a celebrity in our sort of community, but she's almost like not unaware of it, but she kind of doesn't want to acknowledge it, because she's just there for the animals. She just that's her drive. And like, her film Running for Good really sort of really shows her story, I think, the best way possible. And like, if ever I've kind of hit like a running slump, or I'm struggling with running motivation, I watch that and I'm like, right, I've got to go for a run. It's really uplifting. And but yeah, I'd say she's definitely my biggest vegan influence or inspiration.
Yes, she's incredible, and she gets a lot of shout outs on our pod, and because she was she set up the club basically with Peter Simpson, who doesn't get the recognition that Fiona gets, but between the two of them, they sort of set the club up and sort of made it what it is today. It's absolutely incredible work.
Yeah, it is, especially because I think it was really early days as well, wasn't it? Like 2006 or something. I don't know if I've just pulled that number out of the air, but she was running really early on, and it was, really got the vegan name out there before a lot of people did, here. And it was, really inspiring stuff.
And I think, is it later this month? It's the Vegan Runners 20th anniversary, isn't it? They're having a meet up in Bristol. Yeah, so 20 years of Vegan Runners. Awesome.
I still haven't joined. I need to join. I'm going to join. I need to join tomorrow. I've been saying it for ages.
You need to join tonight.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Sean, because we're such a tin pot organisation, we don't actually pay for the full version of Zoom.
We're not even an organisation.
And we're no, we're not organised. So we're going to need to take a little break because you only get 40 minutes, and then if you're okay, we'll just take 10 minutes and then we'll come back.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. And in that 10 minutes, Wes will sign up to join.
Make a cup of tea, and if I get time,
Make a cup of tea and join Vegan Runners.
You can do.
There's nothing better than a hunk of prime Labrador steak, wonderfully marbled. And that is almost entirely dependent on how it's produced. Elwood's organic dog meat has complete control of this entire journey. So I'm here at Elwood's farm to find out a little more about it.
Welcome to Elwood Farms.
Thank you very much, Elwood.
I hear you do a bit of barbecuing.
I do a little bit of barbecuing every now and then, yes. From a chef's point of view, consistency is key for everything.
It doesn't matter if it's a Rottweiler ribeye, a Pyrenees mince, or a lab sirloin.
You can always tell when the dog comes from a place where it was well reared. And every step has to be right, doesn't it? Oh, you should see these guys. So, from an Elwood's point of view, there's complete traceability.
Absolutely, unrivaled traceability, so it's fine.
Every single piece of dog meat.
Yeah, from pub to farmer's market.
Everything the dog's been fed.
Everything about it.
For each dog.
Yeah, only Marks and Spencer's and Whole Foods do this.
Where else can people order from?
From elwooddogmeat.com. That's ELWOOD dogmeat.com.
For top quality meat from dogs for people, meat that's local, sustainable, and humanely harvested, there's only Elwood's organic dog meat. They seem pretty friendly, don't they? It's more responsive to me than my kids, to be honest.
I did it.
You did it.
I did it.
Nice, well done.
It's only been 2 years in the making. I can't even run at the minute, but whatever.
Well, you get like a 33% discount from Vegan Camp Out from joining.
Yeah.
On your ticket. I don't know if you've got a ticket or anything yet, but you get a discount, like club discount.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
So
I did that last year
as well. Yeah.
Yes. Sean, we mentioned Carrie earlier on. Did you do the Elwood's dog meat tasting with a couple of weeks ago? How did that go?
Yeah. So we did that. We did it by Cambridge Market, sort of inside of a stall that was selling all sorts of meat. I think they had ostrich on there and pork burgers, and so we just kind of wanted to get people thinking really, and it went really well. We had mixed reactions, like we had a few people looking at us and just said, what the hell is this, who are these guys? And they took photos and maybe they went home and sort of had a look, and we had a few that sort of challenged us and are like, what are you guys doing, what is this legit? And we even had a vegan approach us and he was like, you guys are vegan, aren't you? He sort of straight through it. But I think it got very mixed reactions. Like some were really good and they were what we wanted, some not so much. And we got a little bit of press from it as well. We got in one of like the local Cambridge newspapers, which was really good. And then we got an invite for like a TV interview as well, following on from it. So I did the TV interview because Carrie, she didn't want to do it, and the other guy involved, Ross, he didn't either. So I was like nominated as tribute to do it, and I think it went well. I've not seen the recording of it because it was on Freeview or Virgin Media. It was on a channel that I didn't have access to, so it was aired at some point a couple of weeks ago, and
Brilliant.
Yeah, so I think it went really well. It was successful.
Good effort.
And we'd do it again. Like we'd try it in like maybe a town sort of in the area. Like we're keen to like put it on tour if you like, and just see how we get in
Elwood's on tour.
a different village.
Do you have a favourite vegan restaurant or venue that you like to frequent?
I think I would say Unity Diner, just because the toe fish is like incredible. Like I've only been to Unity Diner like 3 or 4 times. It's a bit out of near from where I live, but like the food there is just great. And they used to do this thing that was like it was like a hot dog with macaroni cheese poured on the top, which sounds totally weird, but it was like it was
Wow.
incredible. They don't do it anymore, and I was devastated. Like last time I went there, it wasn't on the menu, and they do a really good cake as well. And I think a good thing about going there as well is that like the money, when you're buying the food, it's going towards a really good cause. Like it goes back into Surge and Ed's activism and the sanctuary. Like part of the profits go towards that, and it's it almost feels altruistic eating the really good food.
Yeah.
So I do like going there.
Lovely. Any others closer to home, or is that the top one?
I think that's my top one. Like closer to home, like the Cambridge vegan scene's not as good as it was. Like about 3 or 4 years ago, there was a lot of vegan restaurants, but I think like the all the vegan options in places now, they've kind of killed off a lot of independent businesses, and so there's not as many options there anymore. There's a really good vegetarian restaurant, that like an Indian restaurant called Namaste. I go there a lot, and it's not vegan. I wish it was vegan, but the waiter did give us a discount for ordering vegan last time I was there. So I think
Wow.
I think at least the staff are like pro-vegan in a way, if the business isn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Awesome. Okay. Good. I after we spoke with Carrie, she recommended STEM and Glory in Cambridge.
Yeah, STEM
and
STEM
I went
is
there.
good.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. It was really nice.
They do a really good garlic bread, and the salad bowls are good as well.
That's
Awesome.
the thing is, the salad bowls can be really good, but the salad bowls you get on a normal menu, it's just crap salad.
Yeah, it's like lettuce and tomatoes.
It's not even any effort put into a salad. It's like, come on.
There's no thought to it, is there? No.
Yeah.
All right. This question is it stemmed from our discovery of the term Vistopia, the anguish that vegans feel in a non-vegan world. Do you have hope for the future?
Yes, absolutely. So I attended VARC, like the Vegan Animal Rights Conference last month, and like that event gave me a lot of hope because you had all these organizations in one place, everybody talking to each other and talking about collaborating and growing the movement, and what kind of directions we should point in, and with our work. And I think that kind of strong sense of unity sort of that gave me a lot of hope to see so many like really influential people behind these organizations in one place, and that really good event. So I am hopeful for the future in general, but that was really kind of that amplified that those activists that are on the front line, and just everyone who's contributing to change, like all there in one place. Like a lot of like the key groups in the UK were there, and I think as well, like since I've been working with Animal Justice Project, and like seeing the organisation on the inside and seeing the work they do, because like they've had such a huge impact, and I didn't realise how small the team was. There's only like 7 or 8 people who work there, and like including me, and I thought there was going to be so many more, and it's like like the amount of headlines they've generated for such a small team is bonkers.
It's incredible.
Like,
yeah. Wow. Okay. We're going to speak to Roberta from the VAR conference in the summer. I
think I met her there. She was one of the organisers. She was sort of going around because I was on one of the stalls with Animal Justice Project, so she sort of come around and said hello. I think she's part of Vegan Runners as well. I'm sure she is.
Yes.
Yeah,
I think so. Yes. Awesome.
That's the only reason I've joined it. Just that all these people are going, they're vegan runner as well. They're vegan runner as well. And I'm like, maybe I should just join.
It's only what is it, £6, something like that?
£6.
Tenner.
Yeah.
Really worth it, even if you never run.
So
Excellent.
I like it that you've got hope, because I'm every week when we do this, we asked that question, I mean, when me and Matthew were talking just before you came in, it was like I feel really crap at the minute, but I just need you guys to come on and go, yeah, I have hope because of this reason or that reason. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. Oh, I'm all right again for another week. But it just feels like a constant uphill battle, which you know. But
Yeah.
conversations I have at work, and you just think you're banging your head against the thickest brick wall in the world, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
it's
I know.
never going to end. Never going to
I've
stop.
had those conversations as well. And I think change takes time. And I think, just meeting people that are kind of doing the really sort of impactful events. Like I met the people at the conference, and there's so much coming up this summer, like planned. Like there's a lot coming in the activism scene that should have a big impact. So it's really good to see that as well.
Yeah.
Love it. You mentioned Camp Beagle earlier on. You ran to raise money for Camp Beagle, and I didn't mention it at the
So-
time, but just give people who don't know what's Camp Beagle.
So the run I did, it wasn't a fundraiser for Camp
Oh, sorry.
Beagle, that one. That was more of like a publicity stunt, because I
Okay.
just I dressed up as a beagle and just wanted people in Cambridge to see. But the camp is just like it's been there, I think it's 3 years now. It's outside MBR Acres, which is a site of it's a beagle breeder, and so they breed the beagles and then they ship them out to the testing facilities and universities and all sorts of places that are linked to like the MBR Acres. And the Camp Beagle itself is a protest camp that's sort of situated literally outside the front door, outside the gates. Like it's 24/7, and like there's some activists down there who have pretty much been there since day one, which, if you think about it, is like they've been there for years now at this point, on a consort of just make a huge and loud statement against how awful the animal testing industry is. But
Incredible.
yeah, they're always looking for more supporters and more help.
Yeah, and incredible dedication, like you say, to have been there for that long, protesting and raising awareness.
There's a big event coming up there. It's not organised by Camp Beagle, but it's basically outside MBR Acres, and like the mission is to get like 1,000 activists down there, just to have a huge big protest day of action. It's on the Saturday the 25th of this month. Yeah, they've got a big event down there.
Awesome. All right. Well, Sean, thanks so much for joining us. That's been fantastic. Really, really interesting to hear about all the activism and your work with the Animal Justice Project. Really exciting. And maybe I'll bump into you at a park run or some other vegan runners event. Oh, Wes can be a vegan runner now as well, so it's that's good. So we'll
Just
But
stood
yeah,
there with my t-shirt on.
yeah.
But yeah, it's been great to be on the show. And if you guys are at Vegan Camp Out, I'll definitely be doing the park run this year there, so I might bump into you there.
Awesome. All right. I'll look out for you.
Among the hundreds of runners that will be there, the vegan runners.
Yes, it was such a sight last year when they ran out of tokens and they had to basically make new tokens on the hoof, didn't they? So that they could work out all the extra hundreds of people who turned up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I saw the photos. Like there's so many vegan runners. It's got to be the most ever in any place.
It was a huge number. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Amazing.
Okay.
Cheers,
Awesome.
Sean, you're a star, man.
Cheers. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. Awesome.
Oh, he's lovely.
Lovely bloke. Yeah.
So he was Rory's mate.
Yes, that's it. So they did the Christmas run for
That was
animals
it. Yes.
in 2022. Yeah.
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 Bloody
And he's
hell.
one of the stars of activism at the minute with a lot of the work that he does, street work as well. Absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So yeah, all
That's
good.
really good.
All good. So well, Wesley's yawning, so that must be a subtle hint for us to
No,
wrap
not
up.
at all. No. I was thinking there was something I was going to say. I always do this. I think about there was one episode we recorded and I wrote it down. As I
Yeah.
thought about it, I wrote it down and we came out and I was like, oh yeah, I've written this down. I remember. Can't remember it. So I'm 46.
Yeah.
I'm old. I'm fucked.
Memory starts going.
It takes some balls. I mean, when we've had activists on before, and I'd love to do it.
Mm.
With what Joey did with the plant gazer and the rest of the team, and they went onto the gas chamber.
Oh, yeah.
I'd do that. I would literally do that
Would you?
if I hadn't got a job that I needed to keep.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Agreed. Agreed.
If I had all if I worked for Joey Carbstrong, or I I had a job in vegan activism that justified doing that, I'd go do it.
Oh, yeah. I know exactly
But
what you mean. Yeah.
to go and do it and risk losing the job that I love and then not being able to provide for my family.
Yeah.
It's just not, I can't.
It's such
it's
a
not doable.
it's so frustrating, really, because
Yeah.
yes, I absolutely get that. Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
not putting myself before the animals. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's just how it is. I mean, the thing is, however much we like it or don't like it, this is the world that we're in. And there's not really a lot.
No,
There's not really a lot we can do about it. And part of it is making sure that we can provide, now that we've got families, making sure that we can provide for them.
100%.
So there we go. All right. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that, listener. Thanks so much for joining us
Thank you very much.
and spending your precious time listening to us two wanging on. And and our next guest, shall I give you a little spoiler for our next guest?
Oh God.
Don't normally do
I mean,
this.
yeah, you sort of went. I mean, yeah, you give me little spoilers from time to time, and you're like, "Gotta check these people out. They're amazing." And I'm like, "Oh my God, who is it?"
Yeah. Okay. Coming up, we've got Giles. We've got Lauren from Mabel's. We've got Sam and Christine from the Compassion and Cucumbers podcast. And we've got Roberta from the Vegan and Animal Rights Conference. They're just a few of the fantastic guests that we've got lined up. So stay tuned.
Oh, looking forward to it. It's going to be always awesome.
Always awesome. Love it.
Always awesome.
Always awesome. So, yeah, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheerio.
Bye.